The river is frozen solid at minus 13 degrees. Leaving Toronto behind, James claimed 40 acres of Ontario wilderness, determined to build a new life entirely from scratch. The romantic vision shatters in week 7. The brutal winter pushes him to his limits. In the freezing night, a devastating realization strikes. James delivers the crushing news. The walls he bled to build must come down. A stacking error means every log gets wrong. Rather than hide the flaw, he chooses the hard path of total honesty. Beneath the fluttering red flag in the snow, he feels relief. Catching this blunder at level 5 is a blessing, sparing him from collapse at level 10. James uses colored paper strips to break down the exact geometric betrayal that doomed his walls. The secret lies in opposition. By stacking parallel walls in opposite directions, he creates a level surface for every layer. He blindly mimicked a viral YouTube series, ignoring the crucial nuances of his own materials. Those builders got lucky using poplar logs with almost zero taper. Perfectly cylindrical wood masks their stacking error. James's logs taper naturally. The internet shortcut creates massive gaping vulnerabilities in his corners. He shares this lesson as a warning, not for sympathy. By broadcasting his failure, he hopes to save builders from the same trap. The winter night forces a stark choice: patch the gaps or tear it down to start from zero. He turns to the only counsel in the deep woods. Raising his arms, James calls upon ancestral spirits for guidance.
James, we are your ancestors from 10,000 BC. And we say, Ooga Booga.
James accepts the brutal mandate. He will rebuild these walls from absolute scratch. The alternative saw the Milwaukee Fossil sword to life. Sparks fly in the tent 321-20 as he tests the blade, turning creation into destruction. He drives the screaming blade into tsums, slicing through steel spikes that held his flawed vision. With bindings cut, brute force takes over. He uses a pry bar to lever the heavy logs down, crashing them into the snow. Frost on his beard, he owns the mistake. Amidst the ruin, he offers a sincere apology for the setback. Walls stripped to the base, only 2 layers remain. He surveys the wreckage, ready to rebuild. He points to the base logs. With minimal taper, they sit flush, creating a perfect foundation. The tool returned an empty string, which means the word count is within the target range. The gap in the corner proves demolition was necessary. Now true craftsmanship begins. He plans the second layer, matching thick ends to thick ends for geometric harmony. At the opposite corner, he flips a log. This aligns the small ends, creating a tight, interlocking joint.
Up here.
He justifies keeping the base, since the taper on those bottom logs is virtually non-existent. The flipped corner now reveals a perfectly level transition, with thin ends meeting seamlessly to create a tight, interlocking joint.
Gap.
As the fire roars in the stove, the cold is kept at bay, offering sanctuary in the tent before tomorrow's battle. At 1 in the morning, he wakes to tend the dying embers, keeping the vital heat alive through the freezing night. As boiling water hits the grounds, brewing coffee for the day's hard labor. He clears the deep snow, exposing the foundation logs. The storm left a chaotic mess of twisted metal. He salvages what he can, staring in disbelief at the snow that swallowed his camp. This rebuild offers a chance to improve. He realizes nailing 3 feet from the edge compromised the structure. He uses a cat hook and straps to lever the timber onto the wall. He drags logs through deep snow. He hammers long spikes into the timber, anchoring the walls against the cold night wind. Morning hits hard, dropping to minus 22. Through frozen breath, he faces the sheer hostility of his environment. 4 aligned levels now stand tall, rising from the ashes of his mistake, a testament to the grueling deconstruction and rebuild. The logs fit perfectly, vindicating his effort. He is grateful the flaw surfaced at level 5, sparing him from disaster at level 10. He marvels at the tight, unyielding joints. The gaping voids are gone, replaced by fortress-like solidity. He points to the corner that once threatened the build. The massive gaps are gone, replaced by tight, precise joints. With the foundation secured, momentum shifts forward. He marches to the massive spare logs in the snow, ready to hoist level 5 into the freezing air. He hoists the heavy timber into place, then swiftly steps inside the building with agile, determined movements. Stepping back to admire the flawless lines, he feels deep satisfaction. He sits on the fresh timber, driving wooden pegs home to lock the massive structure in place. Helmet off, he reveals the waist-high walls. The rebuild is complete.
Deconstructing you how good this feels. It was so hard at the beginning of this week, being like, this is going to be the coldest week.
Look at the sheer precision of these junctions. It's a masterclass in timber framing, achieving structural perfection.
That is...
This specific log was installed backwards in episode 6, forcing him to cut it out and remove it entirely. But every failure is a lesson learned. Now pre-peeled and ready, this reclaimed timber just needs a precise trim before it can be locked into the 6th level. With cuts made, brute force begins. Muscles straining in the cold, he hoists the massive log, heaving it onto the rising wall. He slides the timber into place, pressing it firmly until it locks into the groove below. He uses a cant hook to violently twist the giant log, forcing it to interlock seamlessly with the adjacent wall. The cabin scale emerges from the snow. Its tall frame stands as a testament to endurance in the wild. He runs a gloved hand along the stubbornly curved log, pointing out a significant crown that threatens the alignment. Milwaukee, the bulge in the log sits right where the door will be, so it doesn't compromise the structure at all. With the corners sitting straight, he feels confident. The walls hold true, and the cabin skeleton stands proud against the tree line. Milwaukee. The next morning brings no rest. Knee-deep in fresh powder, he hauls another massive peeled log onto the sawbuck, firing up the chainsaw to mark the next critical cut. Perched precariously on a ladder, he guides the roaring chainsaw with surgical precision, slicing off the excess timber to ensure a flush, weather-tight finish. He climbs back up, leveling a heavy drill at the timber to bore deep structural holes. With holes bored, he swings a massive sledgehammer, driving steel spikes deep into the wood with bone-jarring thuds. Taming this unruly curved hardwood required brute force and clever geometry. He anchored one side first, then used sheer muscle to twist the log back into alignment before pounding it home. Not satisfied with the slightly off-center spike, he adds a second bolt right beside it. This double-secured redundancy ensures absolute structural stability. To ensure a flawless seal, he planes the rough bark. Wood ribbons fly through the freezing air, leaving a perfectly flat surface. Precision is the only language the wilderness respects. He snaps a tape measure across the grain, marking a razor-sharp red line for the final crosscut. The chainsaw roars, spitting smoke. He follows the red line precisely, dropping a perfect square cut to bear the structure's weight.
He throws his arms wide.
He throws his arms wide. 6 levels of timber surround him, a massive leap in the dead of winter. They've officially crossed the halfway mark. With 4 feet of solid wall height already achieved, the final 8-foot ceiling is now well within reach. The real victory lies in the corners. He points to the joints, where massive gaps have been eradicated by the new alternating method. Dawn brings harsh reality. He unzips his sleeping bag, rubs sleep from his eyes, and braces for another brutal day in the freezing tent. To fuel up for the cold, he grabs dried dates. Their dense sugar kickstarts his metabolism for the heavy work ahead. Boiling water hits the grounds, filling the icy tent with rich aroma. Steam turns to mist, a fleeting warmth before the work begins. Coffee in hand, he trudges through the blinding white. Every step sinks knee-deep into the drifts as he heads toward the cabin site. He spots a familiar sight wrapped in protective cardboard. His face lights up with genuine joy at the reunion. He clears the snow. It's Thor's red oak, a living monument to his respect for the forest. It's Thursday, literally named after Thor. This chance encounter feels like a mystical blessing from the ancients themselves. The lesson ends log-building resumes he straps in, dragging a colossal timber through waist-deep snow. Icy breath plumes as he hauls the massive logs with sheer will. Emerging from the trees, he reaches the cabin frame. The red eagle flag snaps in the wind, welcoming the timber home. He yanks the chainsaw starter. After a few sputters, it roars to life, ready to carve the next joint. To lock the layer, he drives heavy-duty screws. The impact driver sinks the fastener's deep no-preter, binding the logs with industrial strength. He cooks a steak as the sun sets. He grinds fresh beans, the crunch mixing with the stove's crackle, a quiet luxury in the wild. He guides the chainsaw down the log, peeling away bark to create a flat surface. Wood chips fly like a waterfall as he shapes the timber. Gritting his teeth, he uses every ounce of body weight to inch the massive beam up the ramp. Inside, the walls rise to level 7. A log escalator hoists the heavy timbers into place. The new alternating method yields tight corners, completely eliminating the dreaded gaps and ensuring structural soundness. He traces the flawless timber joints, buzzing with excitement. The shift from disastrous gaps to such masterful craftsmanship is nothing short of miraculous. Inside, the cabin's final shape emerges. One side stands at 7 levels, while the others hold steady at 6, forming a balanced wooden fortress. He holds no grudges, grateful he found the error at level 7, not 10. As snow blankets the forest, he vows to always show this errors and stay truthful, signing off until next week.